Hey guys, well, I just wanted to do a quick video and let you know what's kind of going on with project G0602. I finished up the lathe stand. I was able to find some paint that I thought was a good match. It's this Krylon appliance paint. I got the biscuit color, and as you can see I did get it sprayed, but then once I got the lathe on the stand I realized it's more of an almond color. It's pretty close, but it's more of an almond color. So if you're looking for some kind of matching color, maybe try an almond. I was able to use the front of the crate for the back of the stand, and of course the two sides I used for the sides of the stand. And then the top I saved, it was the nicest piece, I saved it for the bottom. And you can see I just used some of the cleats that were on inside the crate. I used those to kind of help support the shelf, and it's pretty sturdy. I don't think I'd put 300 or 400 pounds on there, but I think it's good enough to hold what I need. Now you can see after I took the crate and made the front, back, sides, and the bottom of my stand, there really wasn't much left of the crate, as you can see here. Pretty much used it all, which was good. It's not it's not great plywood, but just for the backs and the sides and the bottom, it's fine. It's about maybe a half-inch thick. You can see that after I sprayed the tray, it's not quite smooth, but I didn't really sand it. I just kind of went with it the way it is. I figure there's going to be all kinds of oil and coolant and metal shavings down in there, so why take the time to make it all pretty? Here's a picture of the drain, and you can kind of see where the cloth didn't get completely built up on top of the cloth. You can still see kind of like the texture of where the fiberglass cloth was, although it's sealed, and I'm sure it'll be fine. You can see I removed the bolts that hold the crate together. Now there's 4 bolts that hold the crate together, and those are 3 1/4 inch long, and then the 2 that actually bolted the lathe to the crate were a little bit shorter. But the 3 1/4 inch bolts, I was able to use those to mount the lathe onto the stand, and luckily for me, I had some friends and family over for Easter, and they were able to help me pick the lathe up and put it on the stand because I didn't have a hoist. I did remove a lot of the weight. I removed the chuck. I removed the tailstock. Now if you take the tailstock off, there's a bolt there at the end that keeps it from sliding off. You have to remove that bolt. I took the compound and cross slide off, the carriage off, and I removed the roll pin on the coupling and removed the lead screw and the end bearing mount, and then picked it up and got it on the lathe. And you can see here it's on the lathe, and you can see how the pan looks underneath the lathe. It's right up under the area of the bedway that they have kind of like cradled, and it matches and lines up just fine. I think it's going to be just perfect once we get it going. Here you can see the top view, and so pretty much that's where I'm at. I've been working on just trying to figure out all the stuff I need. I ordered a bunch of electronic stuff. I've ordered a bunch of switches, just miscellaneous little things that you kind of forget about, and some stuff I thought I had that I didn't really have. Some switches. I ordered a 20 amp breaker for the VFD, and just some miscellaneous, like I said, miscellaneous stuff. I did get the ball screws ordered, and hopefully they'll come in and I can get started on the mount. Hey guys, well today I'm going to start building the box that's going to hold all the electronics. I decided to put the Teco drive, VFD, along with the CNC stepper motors, power supplies, and everything into one enclosure. So that's what I'm going to work on today. As you saw in the photos, I got the G0602 on top of the stand, and I've spent the last couple of days figuring out what parts I'm going to need, and go ahead and got all most of all that stuff ordered. I still probably need to order a few pieces of aluminum for the mounts, but most everything's ordered, so I'm kind of at a standstill until those pieces come in. So I thought I'd work on the electronics enclosure. Now, this is just what I'm doing. You can do however you want to do, but basically I'm just going to build it the same way I built the one for my X2 mill. It's going to have a couple of pieces like this, and then I'm going to stick, I've got some aluminum door push plates that I'm going to just bolt to this, and it will that's where I'll mount my switches and so on and so forth. Basically just like I did the X2 mill. So what I've done is I've got all the pieces cut out. I went ahead and cut all the plywood. This is just scrap stuff that I've had laying around from crates, shipping crates, and so on and so forth. And I went ahead and cut it out when I was building the stand. So basically my box, let me get a tape. The dimensions for the box is going to be 15 by 17 3/4 and about 7.5 inches tall. This is 6 inches here, and then 3/4 for the top and 3/4 for the bottom. And basically what I'm doing now is just building up the frames so that I can mount the aluminum push plate on there. And what I'm using is just a this is just a pocket hole jig. It allows you to make a pocket recess like this, so I can just shoot a screw in here and pull this together. I got this probably back in 85, 84, I can't remember. Very long time ago. This is when they first started coming out. Now they've got them, they're all fancy. But I've used this one many a times. So I'm just going to clamp this like so. I've already done the rest of them. I just wanted to, just in case nobody's ever saw this before, I just wanted to kind of show you how it's done. And I've got just a 3/8 bit in here. And just drill it like so. And then I'm going to stick a 3/16 bit in just to get the hole in the center, so that it'll pull up tight. And you can unclamp it. And then I'll just kind of drill like this. And that's it. So now what I'll do is I'll clean this mess up, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to clamp these, glue them, and shoot some screws in, and that'll hold the frames together. Okay, so now I'm just going to piece it together like so, and then shoot some screws in, and that'll hold it together. What I want to do is I want to clamp the end, and then put a little glue on here. Clamp it into position. and then we'll just shoot a screw in. Pulls it up nice and tight. And that'll work just fine for this little project. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and build all the frames up, and then I'll turn the camera back on. Okay, so I got both the frames put together, and you can kind of see how the box is going to come together. And then I'll just put a hinge, and that'll be the lid. So now I'm just going to glue and screw these, attach these sides. Like so. Just going to put some pin tacks in here, and then I'll come back and shoot a screw in. Just to kind of hold it. And I'll do the other side. Now, a lot of people use empty computer cases. You can use plastic enclosures you can purchase at your home centers. Just about anything will work. Now, I realize this is wood, and if anything were to happen and one of the drives smoked or something, this fire potentially could catch on fire. But I've been working around VFDs for a long time. They usually just put out a puff of smoke and then it's over, so I'm not too concerned about it. But you can make that decision for yourself. This is cheap because this is just what I had laying around. It worked great for my X2 mill, and I think it's going to work great for the lathe as well. So now we've got the box put together, and then we're just going to nail it to the bottom. And that'll be complete. I know this bottom is square, so I just square the frame up with it. All right. So we'll flip it over and we'll do the top. We'll flip it over and I'll reinforce it with some screws, and then I'll get back and we'll put the top on. Okay, well, you can see we've pretty much got the box put together. I'm going to sand the edges a little bit with some, just hand sand it with some sandpaper. Then I'm going to pass it over to my daughter, and she's going to cover it with aluminum duct tape, just like we did the X2 box. And then I've got these little 1-inch hinges here, and I'm just going to screw that in there, and then That way I'll be able to swing the lid open. And this box is going to sit like this on the side of the lathe stand. And then I'll be able to open it up like so and access all my electronics. Gonna have the Teco drive in here on a DIN rail, circuit breaker, and then the stepper motors and power supply. And then this side I'll have electronics going out, all the wiring. And on this side I'll have a fan and a power on button maybe. So that's it. That's electronics enclosure. Real quickly, with very little material, and this didn't cost me much at all, just some screws and some glue and a little bit of my time, and I think it'll be a nice enclosure. It's going to get mounted like so on the side of the lathe. Then I'll be able to open it up and access all the electronics pretty easily. As you can see, the lathe's on the stand, and I'm working on a lot of different things I'm kind of working on, but got this piece of angle here, and this is going to be for my sliding enclosure. Got these little wheels. I don't know if you can see this on the video, but got these little wheels, and they're just gonna bolt to the enclosure, and they'll just ride like so across the rail. And I'll have the panel on the inside of this rail, and then all the coolant that splashes up on it will drop down in there. I've got the ball screws drawn up, and got those on order. So yeah, it's turning out real well so far. The front panel is going to be different, and I'm going to be putting on just an aluminum piece here. I got to trim this. I'll pull this off, and then I want to have a potentiometer here, like the G0752, and also a tachometer. I do have a mock tack module, and it gives you surface feet per minute as well as RPMs. I may mount that in there, like the gentleman that did the great write-up on the Teco VFD conversion with the 3-phase motor. I believe he makes the mock tack as well as did that great write-up on the VFD drive, which is basically what I'm going to follow. But I don't know if I'll put that module in here or if I'll put just the RPM tachometer in here. I think visually it'll look good, and initially I'm going to be using this lathe with manual control, and then later on I'll hook it up to Mach 3. So I've got a lot of different things going, so I'm not sure exactly how this video is all going to get pieced together, but a lot of the electronic pieces, switches, buttons, the ball screws, I already have the stepper motors and drivers. So a lot of the stuff is kind of just in the middle of being completed or started. I have a lot of the pieces ordered. There's switches ordered. I have the ball screws ordered. The DIN rail came in today, and that I'll mount into the electronic enclosure. Just different things I'm waiting on, so I'm can't really get anything done right now. But once this stuff starts coming in, I'll be able to work on it more. I'm going to get this box finished, and then I'll be able to try to start laying out how I'm going to mount things in there. It's going to slow down the project a little bit, but I'll keep it documented. Just bear with me, and we'll get videos up as I can. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, and have a great day.